When I opened up the notebook, the battery was swollen and it damaged a plastic part inside the notebook. Here we have an original Razer battery as it shows here, and this is supposed to come into the notebook now as a replacement for the original battery. I want to flip my notebook upside down and open up the lid in the back of the notebook in order to get access to the battery, which is located here, and the part that is damaged is here in the upper left corner. But of course I did not know that the battery was swollen in the first place, so I accidentally loosened this screw as the last one, and so there was a lot of pressure on the lid already before the screw was opened. I have a T5 screwdriver in order to match the screws appropriately. So at this time I'm opening up all the screws that are closed to the display mechanics in the first place, and then the ones that are above the battery will be the last ones. As the lid has a little notch here where it slips inside the frame of the notebook, I'm going to open it up on this side first. So what else do I need? This is a Phillips screwdriver, and now I will open up the lid and put it aside, but first I want to show you my number of my notebook and the ID. And now I'll use the Phillips screwdriver in order to remove the battery itself. This is already a replacement battery, as I said before, but it will now be replaced by an original Razer battery. This was just an intermediate solution because the other one wasn't available. And this is the connector for the battery, which has to be removed as well. There is a lot of pressure because it is a tight fit. This battery goes away. I have already replaced the RAM with 46 gig, and also I have replaced the Wi-Fi module, and this is the SSD, which also was replaced by a 2 terabyte model. Alright, so this is the replacement battery. This had needed to be bent in order to get it fit to the connector. I can now slip in the battery. Alright, fits in place. It's a tight fit, so maybe you want to try this first and then attach the connector back to the motherboard. Okay, it's back in. And as you can see, here is some excess of the, I would call it cable. And that's why I needed to bend this a little bit first in order to get it to fit. Now I can screw back in all the screws. All screws are tight, and now I can close back the lid. So this is the plasticky part that belongs here to the corner, and that one broke when the battery was swollen because there was so much pressure on the lid that when I opened the screws on the bottom, it stood up like this, and maybe this already damaged this plastic part because this screw was still in place. So, but now I would just put it back in place without doing anything to it. And then I will fix it by screwing the lid back on. So first of all, try to get this here in place. Double check that there is no gap in between. Maybe this is not so visible. And now all the screws go back in. And now I will start with this one in order not to lose the plastic part. So now it's not the lid attached to the frame, but the frame attached to the lid, and all the other screws go back in. I will not over tighten these screws, but now in the first place I will screw all the screws in and then tighten them in a second step. Alright, so now all the screws are back in and I can tighten them just a little bit in order not to damage the screw head. So that was it. Now we can just turn it upside down, open up the computer and turn it back on. As you can see, the Razer logo appears, which means it works. Thanks for watching.